Hello, Danielle.
Hello,
Welcome
Phil.
to the Wasteland.
Oh my god, I've always wanted to go to the wasteland.
Well, maybe I will change your mind. This is Mad Max that we're watching right now. The new open world action game based off the Mad Max movie franchise, created by Avalanche Studios? Avalanche Studios.
Okay.
Avalanche Studios, I believe, are the ones who do Just Cause. Avalanche Software is the one that does Disney Infinity. That, or I'm mixing the two up.
I see.
One of the Avalanches, the one that does Just Cause, created this game. And
Well,
honestly, here's the thing. It's going to look better in a 10-minute video that you're seeing right now than it was when I played it.
okay.
And
okay.
the reason for that is the actual gameplay of this game is totally fine. It's solid. It doesn't do anything terribly. It doesn't do anything amazingly, but it's all competent, I think is the word that I used in the review.
Okay.
But it also, like...
Well, competent, competent. My first question here is, why aren't you playing as Furiosa?
Furiosa is not involved with
that's
this.
Everybody's first question.
It's not
No,
based on
Furiosa,
Fury Road.
I don't know.
The few women characters in the game are not treated as well as the women characters in Fury Road.
Ooh.
Let's say that.
I see.
If you're
Okay.
interested in that, I've got some more details in my review that you can go read on Polygon.com.
Excellent.
But
excellent.
the main issue is that, like I said, it handles everything all right, but nothing is done super great, and there's not enough variety in what you're doing. You can see here, an important part of the Mad Max universe, getting water, of course. There's a world where all the water has dried up, and you need to drink water in order to get your health back up. So we're switching over here to one of the main parts of the game, which is driving. So you swap between on-foot exploration and combat and driving. And the driving is the better part of the game, for sure.
Yeah, this looks a lot more fun.
Yeah, it is. It's just, it feels pretty cool. And in particular, there's a ton of upgrades. So as you're going, you can put more armor on your car. You can put spikes on your car so that guys can't jump on it. You can put spikes on the rims of your wheels so that as you're next to an opponent, you'll grind into them and lower their health. You can shoot rocket launchers and stuff. So the car stuff is fun enough. The frustrating part is that you spend all this time, here you're seeing the upgrade screen, you spend all this time doing these upgrades and creating the car that you want. And at numerous times in the game, both in the side quests and in the main story, it'll just take away your car or force you to go with a specific other vehicle that isn't upgraded, or force you to go change your upgrades and use a specific loadout.
Okay, that's a bit of a bummer.
It's really frustrating and not particularly fun. And so it's like, I would get to a point where it's like, oh, for this mission, you need to have your car set up for speed, so we're going to have you go with this specific loadout. And that loadout was worse than what I had for speed and for everything else.
That's horrible. I mean, that seems like a real bummer on the game design. Like, you have this car that you love, that you've made all these adjustments to, and then it's like, oh no, you need this beginner model.
And then we're going to see here, they're taking us on into the this place called the Underdune, which we've just discovered is actually an old airport that has kind of sunk beneath the sands. Cool. This is actually the coolest level in the game, so I wanted to take some time and show off, as I'm talking about my problems, I wanted to show off that there are a few cool things about the game, and this is one of them.
Nice.
This level I found just really imaginative and interesting. You have to drive through this, creepy abandoned airport, and I think part of what drew me into this level is like it's not doing the same stuff over and over, and that's the problem with most of the game. So for those on-foot segments, you're going to enemy strongholds, which all kind of end up looking the same. You're blowing up oil refineries and fighting these same dudes over and over. The combat is basically identical to the Batman series. It's using that style of punching and counterattacks and everything.
Sort of the flow of that, I see.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. And what I like about this level is that it kind of mixes that up a little bit. You're not doing that much combat. You're mostly exploring. You're mostly exploring in your car and trying to avoid these weird mines that will blow up if you touch them.
I mean, that's a really cool idea. It seems like maybe a little more of this would have been great for the game.
And more like interesting locations, right? Like an airport that has sunk beneath the sands is like just a really intriguing idea, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, ate it a little bit.
Most of the stuff that you're getting is not that interesting. Most of the stuff is just like, here's an abandoned restaurant, here's an abandoned gas station, here's an oil refinery, and it's just like that same stuff over and over.
Yeah, it seems like there's actual sort of implicit storytelling here. Like, oh, this airport, this is what happened to this world. It's not just an empty location, but it's a location that, it had some meaning in the former world, and now it has meaning in this world, in that, somebody put mines in this. This is somebody's territory.
We'll get some more of that. So here you're seeing, you can stop at any point and repair your car. This is Chumbucket riding in the back. He's sort of your buddy who you find early in the game, who wants to help you build the Magnum Opus, which is the greatest car, the most legendary car ever to exist. So you're both...
I love the name. Chumbucket is a great name, especially in a world where there isn't a lot of water.
Yeah,
yeah, that's good.
He's sort of a character that provides a little bit of humor. He's basically, Chumbucket worships cars. So for him, the task of building the Magnum Opus is like an actual like holy task.
Excellent.
He considers it like
does
a holy quest.
Does he have a little silver spray paint?
He does not.
He does not do the silver
spray paint thing. That is not a canon part of this. Although there are a few like tiny references to the movies. I think the main bad guy in this game is supposed to be one of the sons of Immortan Joe from Fury Road.
Sure.
But it's not heavily tied to it at all.
Immortan Joe Jr.
So you can see here that you're kind of exploring on foot. You have to get out of the car at some point. One of the coolest parts of the level, I think, is coming up here. You find this airplane that has crashed into the airport. They talk about at one point like how at some point as the world was dying, all the airplanes just came down.
Oh wow!
So you get the sense of like, this airplane was like trying to land or just taking off or something, and it crashed right into the airport.
Wow!
I should explain too, the task that you're on in this mission is you're basically exploring this airport in order to find Christmas lights, because there's a character that you run into who covers himself in Christmas lights in order to show how powerful he is. And
that's amazing.
You need something from him, so he says, well, my Christmas lights are going out, so I need more lights, and they're hidden in the Underdune, so go get them.
That's excellent. I think that's so perfect. That's something about sort of the Mad Max movies in general, of like the sort of goofy way that normal everyday things have become there's really powerful objects in this world.
There's this
that's kind of amazing.
There's this sort of chaotic absurdity to the Mad Max universe. And again, that's getting into my problem with the game, is I don't think it captures that most of the time. Most of the time, the game feels very mundane.
Like a decent Batman clone, but not its own, sort of thing.
Yes,
perhaps.
and I think obviously we're talking about something mundane but we're talking about something mundane that's been imbued with this sense of great importance.
Yeah. Exactly.
And the game doesn't give quite enough of that. The best parts of the game have moments of that, but it does not happen enough. So, especially compared to the Mad Max movies, which I think generally are very memorable, I feel like this game is just forgettable. There's not a lot here that anybody is going to remember 6 months from now, or
this game needed a lot more special, powerful Christmas lights.
Yes.
It seems a little more of that personality and a little less fighting.
And just like it's a big open world full of side quests, and it's just the same repeating side quests over and over. It's the stuff that we see in every open world game. It's that open world bloat of just like, okay, do this side quest here, now do it here, now do it here, and it's always the same thing.
The checklist, the checklist approach.
Exactly that. And it's a bummer, because I feel like there could have been more to this game, and I think it's something too where I think that's just how Avalanche designs open world games. If you look at Just Cause, but with Just Cause, there's so much more to the actual mechanics. There's so much.
There's all the sort of flight stuff and
Yeah.
and parachuting and all that other good stuff.
Yeah, there's so much more you can do with the actual gameplay, and there's not that much here. Like, this fighting is always the same. The driving, for as much as I enjoyed that, is always the same.
Sure.
So yeah, this is a kind of a disappointment in Mad Max, but this is one cool level at least, and there's a few more. If you do play it, there's a couple cool moments, but nothing special, unfortunately.
Yeah, it seems. Yeah, again, it just seems like it needed a little bit more of that personality, and it pokes out every now and then that you're showing me, but yeah. Too bad it's not the whole game is sort of full of that personality.
Absolutely.
Maybe just needed a little more Furiosa. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Maybe a little Furiosa would spice things up.
Furiosa, probably. If you want to check out our full review, that's going to be live at Polygon.com. I will link to it in the story if you're watching this on Polygon, or in the comments. In the description, I should say, if you're watching this on YouTube. So check that out.